First of all, why here? Why are you helping here? Because you live a ways away.
I grew up in Altadena, just up this street. This is my hometown. This is the school that I went to. This is the church that I went to up to the age of 18. Yeah.
Now, John, you guys had to evacuate, right, the other day?
Yeah, and I went to leave in my car. I had a flat tire, so I borrowed the neighbor's car across the street and went down and met with them and just watched, the sadness come down. These fires have ruined the illusion of permanence and control. We have no control. We learned that with the pandemic. It's like but I just never realized how vulnerable we all are, and it's not. This could happen. These fires, natural disaster, and then some believe that some places weren't, obviously. But this could happen anywhere, and to see the resilience of people, and to see my wife, who if I would have had a Superwoman outfit, I would have brought it for her to wear today. She said before, she said, "Don't talk about me, don't brag about me," but I have to. As soon as this happened, she bolted from where we were. Left me with the kid, which was great because I love him, and went, came straight here. I think you just drove around Altadena and said,
I did.
"Where do I go? What do I do?" And landed
did.
here at your church.
Well, and Victory Bible Church, which is straight up from here.
Okay.
That's where I've been spending most of my time. It is a Black Baptist church, and if you know, Altadena is has an amazing historically Black community, and it was really wonderful to be a part of that, and the way they uplifted everyone. And they've all been there for the entire community. It's been a real beautiful thing, a real bright light in this extreme darkness.
It doesn't define who we are. What we do next defines who we are. And that's what she's doing, and I'm so proud of her, and I'm proud of everybody that's been involved. This community is a middle to lower class community, working class community, correct?
Very working class.
Yeah.
This, we were calling it kind of the heart of Hollywood because so many people who work in Hollywood live here, but they aren't the names that you know. They work behind the scenes, and they need to work.
Exactly. That was both my parents. Both my parents were below the line type people. My dad was a visual effects producer. My mom cut and spliced films together, and back when they were doing that. So yes, and it was all people like them here. And
what was it like to see the devastation? You drive over here, and this is a place that means the world to you. There's a house here that your parents grew up. What was that like?
It's devastating. It's heartbreaking, and there's so many people going through it right now. But what I think is getting all of us through is our big hearts. So many people have been showing up here to volunteer, to give, and it's such a beautiful thing to see and know that we are all dedicated to making sure that these people continue to own their homes. One of the most heartbreaking things to me is if these people end up selling to developers and they end up not having enough money to ever buy a home in California again. And that would be the worst thing. So I'm going to work really hard to help keep these people in this town, keep the charm of this town. I mean, I grew up in the most diverse, beautiful city here, and I wanted to stay that way. I wanted to stay as charming with all these small businesses. So many people lost their small business and their home at the same time. So many kids lost their school and their home. So I want to rebuild this town to be as resilient and as beautiful as the people who live here.
I should marry her.
You should marry her. I mean, have a baby with her too.
Yeah. I'm the luckiest man in the world. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah. I also want to ask you about celebrity, because there are a lot of celebrities who lost homes, who've been evacuated, but at the same time are turning around and saying, you know what, let me go help. How important is it to use this megaphone you have to make people understand that there are other people who really need help?
Yeah, I mean, it's just that. It's tricky because people go like, oh, what do you need? Don't start a GoFundMe. You have money, blah, blah, blah. The social media is like fire to me. It can be used for good and bad. It can build you up and it can destroy you. It can, so it needs to be respected. Social media right now it's a little dangerous. I mean, a little bit of hope and goodness could light up the world, but hate could spread like a wildfire. Mm-hmm. And that's the connection to social media and fire right now. We need to be respectful of it. I'm not saying we need to control it, but we need to be respectful of the truth.
Yeah, and remember that we're all human. We are all people who would just like to have a roof over our head and clothes on our back to be able to feed our kids and to educate our kids in a safe place. That's all we all want.
And I also think I want to mention that when I walked in here, it's not like you came down and just dropped some money off. Your wife is out here setting everything up like she's in it, right? How important is it to be a part of this and not, look, you could have just written a check and said, guys, go get some stuff.
No, I want to be here. I want to be here in my community. I want to see these people. I want to give them hugs. I want to be with the children here.
But this is her. Before this disaster, she started a podcast a few years ago called "How Could I Help?" And a lot of celebrity wives could do podcasts, but it's sometimes about their nails and whatever the hell. Right. This woman did, and so every week in our house, she would amplify these organizations. Well, she got involved with every single one of them. She was so busy that she couldn't do the podcast anymore. One day, oh, bye, honey, I'm going to Tijuana today. Tijuana, what are you doing? Well, there's some kids down there that need. So this is her, and the fact that it happened in her hometown was, yes, she would have come, but she does this all the time, and she's such a great inspiration to me and to my son.
Thank you. But it shifted a little bit. So the podcast, it took a little bit of a break, and then I decided to start my own nonprofit. It's called Civic Soul, and we have been putting on small casual fundraising and service events. And so say we would educate on the foster care system, and then we'd pair volunteers up with kids and we'd take them shopping. We did the same with human trafficking victims. We put on a baby shower for Black pregnant women in need and got them a bunch of stuff.
What can people come here and get? What kind of things do you have here for people?
So right now we have all basic essentials that you might need. There's feminine products, we've got toilet paper, we've got all the toiletries, we've got kids items too. Nothing too big. Remember, a lot of these families are displaced. They're in hotels, they're staying on people's couches, shelters, cars even. So not smaller items. And then next they're going to be at this particular place, St. Philip's Catholic Church. They are going to be having a big thing on Saturday where they're going to have more secondary items. So if you're looking around your house and you're thinking oh my gosh, I wouldn't initially have picked this up in a fire, but oh yeah, what about my phone charger? I could use one of those. Or I grabbed a couple of items of clothes, but now I'm getting all these donations. I have nowhere to put it. So maybe a suitcase could be nice. Please, no more used clothing. And also only donate things that you would want to receive yourselves in an emergency. So please, no more expired food. Thank you for all the thought. Immediate thing, and you just want to give anything and everything, I understand. But now I feel the secondary essential items.
Last thing. This is today, and the attention of the world is focused on California. This is going to take years and years and years to rebuild. What do we do? What is going to be your involvement? I sense your wife may move here and just move back here and just I'm going to rebuild houses.
I do. I basically will. Well, yeah, education is going to be really important. These people who lost their homes, like I said, we want to make sure they stay in those homes. But a lot of them had no plans to ever build. These are homes that were over 100 years old, and they thought they were going to last another 100 years.
People were planning their future, and now they're sifting through their past in ashes.
Yes, but we want to make sure that it stays their future too. And so educating them on making sure they don't get scammed. So, and I think the community is working on hopefully a big convention where we're going to bring in experts and make and teach people okay, this is what you need to do and how to talk to insurance. And if we need to get law involved, this is some language to use. Let's bring in some architects, people who are about sustainable building and fireproof building. Rewiring America is working to bring more induction stoves and things like that. Let's build in a way that's going to be more climate friendly. Let's not make this place any warmer, please. And to just things that really help save the homes that did get saved, like having sprinkler systems on your rooftops and building. And I think that also in education, I would really like to focus on bringing building back into high school programs. So bringing trade classes into high schools, learning again, because we took it out for some reason, but learning woodworking. We need tradespeople to help rebuild this city. And those are jobs that are good paying jobs that don't necessarily require a college education. So you can start those jobs with less debt and really start your life. So I feel like those are things to get into. And that's how we help rebuild this community.
Where do you drop things off?
Yeah. So there are a lot of great places. I mean, I know that Santa Anita is a giant one, PCC, giant one, and where I am now is St. Philip's Church. So they're still collecting, again, secondary items, new things. Grocery items are always really good. unexpired. And in Victory Bible Church, where I was talking about before too, they're still accepting donations, I believe, and get suitcases are great, reusable bags are great for collecting all these items that people are getting. And GoFundMe's are wonderful, but just be careful with those. Be really careful. Make sure they're validated. And yeah, what else? Oh, underwear. Good new underwear, please. Only of all sizes is definitely something that goes really quickly. And then if you think of like laundry detergent and items like that again you wouldn't necessarily think of initially, but everyone, once or twice a week you're using. So
For the folks who've been displaced, what do you say to them?
we love you. We're here to support you, not just today, but long term. We are really dedicated in helping rebuild this community. This is both of our home. We're both Southern California natives. Los Angeles is my home, and we're going to do everything we can to rebuild, not just as it was, but much better, much stronger, and in a way that will hopefully this will never happen again.
Right. And and the people that don't find a place immediately, I'm sure my wife is going to allow you to live with us. So I'll see you soon.